Since it's almost at the end of the holiday season, it's time to make thank you cards.
Hello, and welcome back to Laurie's Something New with Something Old, where I showcase one of my favorite old products from Altenew.
The products that we're going to be using for this project are the vase fillers, which is a silhouette stamp, the thank you from Paint a Flower Calla Lily, and then some embossing folders. You could use vintage tile or fantasy emblem, playful circles, or checkered diamonds. Those are the ones I used for this project. And the first thing you're going to need to do is make a border around your card. I'm using Altenew's satin masking tape, and with any tape I like to make it a little less sticky by sticking it on my skin or clothes. And I'm going to put the tape all the way around, even on all sides, to give me a 1-inch border. Then I'm going to use a blending tool. I'm using blending brushes, and this color is dusty pink. I was testing to see if I liked the color on the back, and I did. And when you're blending, you want to make sure that you start off the page and move on to the page. In this particular one, I made it darker along the edges and lighter in the center so that it gave kind of a highlight in the center, like a spotlight. On the other cards you'll see at the end, I didn't do that. I made them solid. Now you're going to peel off the masking tape, pull so that you're folding the tape back onto itself. And sometimes I like to use a heat gun to help melt the glue and make it easier to remove the tape. Pull slowly and melting that glue makes it come off quite easily. I'm using the stamp wheel for my stamp platform. The stamp wheel has a sticky mat that allows the paper to stick to the background rather than using magnets to hold your paper in place, and it works really, really well. And I'm just showing you here the pieces that I'm going to be using. I position the thank you on there so I know where to put the other stamps, because I want to make sure there's room for the thank you. And you can see how I kind of lined that up. Inking up the stamp and then flipping, inking and flipping if necessary. And for this one, I'm trying to line up the stem of the first leaf that I put on with the base of it so it doesn't show. Looks like it's coming out of the flower. And I'm using the new stamp wheel alignment grid that has the square grid on it so that I can easily line up the thank you or any of my other sentiments. And I'm checking there to make sure that it's all lined up, which it was. And I've got both those stamps on there so I can stamp them both at the same time. And I lifted it up and didn't capture the bottom foliage. Nice thing about a stamping platform is if I need to stamp multiple times, everything stays in place and I don't get any duplicate, overlay stamp. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking out my embossing folder and I'm using the checkered diamonds, one of my favorites, but there are several that would work just as well. And I'm going to line that up inside the embossing folder. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I spritz the paper and I do mine front and back, two quick spritz on the front and two on the back. That helps soften the fibers of the paper so that when you run it through the embossing machine, it doesn't crack the paper. And I lined it up, put it through the machine, and there's the big reveal. Isn't that just beautiful? And that card now is done. I did a few more cards and using different embossing folders in the back. And I'm showing this one because when I inked it, I used a couple different colors of green ink. It was blotchy and I didn't like it at first. And then I thought, well, I'm going to stamp it anyway, and it's just fine. Thanks for watching my video this month. Please join me again next month. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and please subscribe.